Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. This space is all about, my real raw journey through, weight loss, starting with Mounjaro. Now I'm on compounded Tirzepatide and just building a healthier life from the ground up. So if you're on a similar path, go ahead, take a second, hit that subscribe button. We're doing this together. But today's video is a review of something that is I think completely changed the way that I track progress, and that is the Hume Health Body Pod. It is way more than just a scale, and I want to show you why it's now an essential part of my wellness toolkit. For most of my 2-year weight loss journey, I was focused on that number on the scale and just some occasional InBody scans when they were available at my gym. I've lost over 90 pounds and I am so proud of that. But I've learned that, weight alone doesn't paint the full picture of health or progress. Was I losing fat? Or, was I losing muscle? It's always in the back of my mind. Was I hydrated? Was I supporting my metabolism? I had so many questions and there was no way of knowing. And we all have or had moments where our weight would stall and it would stall, for a couple weeks and it just linger. And people would say to us, maybe you're losing inches or, your body just needs some time to adjust from your weight loss. And we would just keep, pushing ahead, but feeling discouraged. That's when I realized I needed better data. And that's when I found the Hume Health Body Pod. The Hume Health Body Pod is an at-home body composition scanner that gives you medical grade insights in under a minute. It measures your body fat percentage, lean mass, visceral fat, bone mineral content, your hydration levels, your metabolic rate, heart rate variability, so much more. I could spend the whole video talking about all of it, but I think this thing is so powerful and it was so easy to set up in minutes. And, the results compared to my current Renpho scale left me questioning why I didn't get the Hume Health Body Pod sooner. The body pod uses 8 frequency sensors to deliver precise weight, full body composition, and heart health to advance your weight and health management journey. Compared to only 2 sensors with the Renpho. The advanced sensors, embedded in the handle are able to scan your torso, your arms, legs, and even heart at an accuracy of 98% compared to a DEXA scan. But I'm going to get into that a little bit more shortly. Even after losing over 90 pounds and being almost 2 years into my weight loss journey, the Hume Body Pod showed me areas I thought they were totally fine because according to my current Renpho scale, they were. I was feeling just so proud of myself, like I finally was in a great spot. But then came the reality check. The scan showed I still had, visceral fat to work on. And even more surprising, I had lost lean muscle mass. And that was honestly one of my worst fears, especially when you're starting a GLP-1 medication like Tirzepatide. I thought, I was following the blueprint perfectly, eating in a calorie deficit, getting my protein in, lifting 4 days a week, 10 plus K steps a day, hydrating and prioritizing sleep. I was doing everything right, or so I thought I was. But that's the thing. Without the right data, you can't always tell what's really going on, beneath the surface. The scale was, moving. My clothes were, fitting differently. But was I losing muscle? And that's something these medications can do if you are not actively protecting against it. To me, it was a wake-up call. I realized that this journey isn't just about, weight loss. It's about body recomposition, your metabolic health, and just building a body that, is strong and sustainable. The Hume Body Pod helped me see what I couldn't before. And now I know exactly, what to work on, what I want to work on next. If you're on a GLP-1 medication, which I know many of you are, especially if you watch my channel, then this is the kind of tool that I think is especially important. Please don't skip this part because, these meds are incredibly effective for weight loss. But one of the biggest risks is losing, muscle mass instead of, fat. You're eating less, your body can start breaking down muscle unless you're really intentional with your protein intake, strength training and just tracking progress beyond just what is that number on the scale? And that's where the Hume Body Pod has been such a game changer for me. It gave me real time data so I can actually see whether, I'm holding on to lean mass or if I need to adjust my workouts or my nutrition, before it becomes a big problem. There was no more guessing, no more hoping, my efforts are working. I finally have proof. That's why this isn't just a nice to have. It's an essential tool for anyone on a GLP-1 weight loss journey who wants to lose weight the healthy, sustainable way. Honestly, when your doctor prescribes you a GLP-1 for weight loss, they should be stressing not only the importance of, lifestyle and behavioral changes, but also, something like this scale. In my opinion, the Hume Body Pod should be a must buy right alongside your medication. It helps you protect the progress that you're making and make sure, it's the right kind of progress. Before this, I was using a Renpho Smart Scale. And listen, it is perfectly fine for tracking like basic weight and BMI. It gave me some, body fat estimates, but honestly, those numbers were all over the place. I'd step it on the scale twice. It's 2 times in a row and I get 2 different readings. There's no real guidance, no context, and definitely no consistency. It kind of became, in my mind, like background noise. I wanted to believe the data, but I knew deep down it was not reliable. And I think that's a problem when you're trying to fine tune your body composition and just try to make informed decisions, especially on a GLP-1 when you're trying to preserve muscle. That is so crucial. So when I switched to the Hume Body Pod, it was like, this is incredible. I was on a different level. It wasn't just a scale. It was designed to closely mimic that gold standard of body composition analysis. And I'm talking about DEXA scans. That's the level of accuracy we are dealing with here, within 2 to 3% of DEXA scans. But really what makes it next level, I think, is the app. It doesn't just give me a wall of numbers. It gives clear, personalized insights. It breaks down my, lean mass, body fat percentage, visceral fat, metabolic rate, hydration, and even offers coaching style guidance. So I know exactly, what each metric means and just how to improve it. It is consistent. It is clear. And I think most importantly, I think it's trustworthy. I don't have to guess, anymore. Are my numbers right? I don't even have to wonder if, am I building muscle or am I losing it? I now know. I've done, InBody scans at my gym several times during my 2-year weight loss journey. And remember, always comparing those results. I would take them, compare them to my eTech City and now my Renpho scale at home. And the numbers were so inconsistent. My body fat percentage would be way off or my lean mass would just fluctuate wildly. But honestly, I really just accepted it. I was like, that's what it is. I didn't really have anything better at the time, but with the InBody, I'd get this printout. It would be this long sheet filled with numbers. I'd be trying to decode it all on my own. I'd stare at it like, okay, well, what does this number mean? And what does that number mean? It felt like I was chasing progress, but without a clear map in front of me. I think looking back, I thought I was in a better state than I actually am right now. And that realization really hit me once I started using this Hume Body Pod. It has been a wake up call, but I think in the best way. I felt this new like surge of energy and motivation to actually understand, my numbers, to pay close attention to things like lean muscle mass, visceral fat, and just lean mass. Now, I can see results in real time that, how, it'll impact my workouts and my nutrition and my sleep, just all of it, reflected in this body composition. And I think the best part, I can do it all from the comforts of my home. I don't have to make an appointment, no guessing, no driving to the gym just for a scan. And I think that level of convenience has made a huge difference in my consistency. And it's helping me just stay accountable in just a much more sustainable way. If you're just starting out, deep into a transformation or you're using a GLP-1 like me, you're using it as a tool, this takes the guesswork out and gives you real information so you can make smarter choices along your weight loss journey. I seriously wish I had this from the very beginning of my weight loss journey. It would have saved me, so much second guessing, frustration, and just wasted time chasing the wrong number, just watching the scale go down without really knowing, you know, what was I losing? Even now, 2 years in, the Hume Body Pod is helping me stay accountable. It's helping me, track what I think is truly what matters. And it's not just that number on the scale going down, but my lean muscle mass going up and my metabolic health improving and just my body getting stronger every step of the way. If you're ready to stop guessing and start understanding your body, just really understanding it, the Hume Health Body Pod is 100% worth it in my opinion. And because I know this is an investment, I reached out to them and I got you guys a discount. You can use my code CATCH, that's KETCH, to save 20% off your own Hume Body Pod. I think that's a huge chunk of something that could that could change your approach to health. Let this be the moment you shift from like just obsessing over the scale to truly knowing your body inside and out. I'm honestly so excited for this next phase of my journey. Now, that I have the data, the clarity, the right tools, I'm just focused now on I'm not focusing on losing weight anymore. I'm focusing on that building of the strength, preserving muscle, and just truly transforming my body from the inside out. So if you want to see how I use the Hume Body Pod week by week, how I adjust my workouts, my nutrition plan, just track progress that I think the smart way, make sure hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing my raw updates, monthly scans, what's working, what's not, just everything. And you're literally going to see my body, recomposition unfold in real time from scan to scan, muscle gain to mindset shifts. We're not doing crash diets over here anymore. We are doing it with insight, strategy, and just long-term results. So stick around. Let's transform together. I will catch you in my next video. Bye.